Thanks for joining us on CoreTV News this hour. I am Nifemi Oguntoye. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the sack of the chairman of the FCT Internal Revenue Service, Secondary Education Board and the Universal Basic Education Board. An indication to this was contained in a letter sent to the FCT Permanent Secretary, John Chukwu, by the Secretary to the Federal Government. The SGF noted that the Federal Government's directive on the dissolution of governing boards of all government parastatals and agencies also apply to the boards of the FCT agencies. The Permanent Secretary has consequently directed the former chairman of the FCT Internal Revenue Service to hand over all duties and responsibilities of his office, as well as government belongings in his possession, to the Director of Treasury, FCT. He also mandated the chairman of the Secondary Education Board and Universal Basic Education Board to hand over all duties and responsibilities of the offices, as well as government property, to the directors, secretaries of the board. Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has commiserated with the family of retired Commissioner of Police Ibrahim Babakoa, who died recently. In a statement by Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, the president said the former Commissioner of Police will be long remembered for the role he played in crushing the Metasin uprising of 1980 and his discovery of the body of Prime Minister Abubakar Tafawa Balewa after the January 15, 1966 coup d'etat. The president, who had a long and close association with Babankoa, said the deceased will remain a model of integrity and steadfastness to all who knew him. President Buhari also extended his personal condolences to the family of the celebrated farmer and bookseller Jibrin Ahmed, who also died recently. The president prayed that Almighty Allah will grant Babankoa and Ahmed eternal rest and comfort their grieving families and friends. Labour activists on Thursday embarked on a joint rally round major roads in the nation's capital to show solidarity for the anti-corruption stance of President Muhammadu Buhari. The peaceful rally, which started from the Unity Fountain, saw the activists visiting the AFCC headquarters before moving to the National Assembly complex and the office of the Secretary to Government of the Federation. The group was received at every point by top officials of the various institutions and establishments. Basiaye now reports.
As early as 7 a.m., they had gathered at the Unity Fountain, which was the rendezvous point. Among them are past and serving leaders of the labor union. Some had on the colors of the various affiliate unions, while others chose the traditional red beam of organized labor. And just before they set out, the NLC president and others were on hand for some pep talk.
This is a struggle for a new Nigeria. This is a struggle for good governance. And this is a struggle against corruption. We are here because our laws are very weak. Corrupt officials, if you steal even 100 billion, at most you only get 2 years of jail, or you part with only a fraction of what you have stolen. And you'll be allowed to go and continue to enjoy your ill-gotten wealth. No more. We have seen this in the case of Atiku Kigo, who stole 32 billion of Nigerian pension funds, and what he got was 2 years imprisonment or 750,000 naira fine. Is that what we want?
This rally is one of those rallies to strengthen those institutions and to fight corruption. You know, corruption is endemic and it needs to be killed. And just like the president said, if we don't kill corruption, corruption will kill us. All the sectors of this country are suffering because of corruption. And for me, in the National Assembly, I feel that those institutions, my primary aim and the National Assembly primary aim now should be laws should be revealed to the extent that those institutions will be strengthened.
We don't want a neoliberal policy through the back door that has actually led to more and more corruption in our country. We want people-centered development program that will raise the standard of living of Nigerian people, that will make all our social services, education, health, everything to work.
Then it was time to visit the EFCC, where the chairman of the anti-graft agency played host to the group.
I want to assure you that with this our hands have been straightened and we will do our best not to disappoint you. We will continue to do what we are doing, and we shall go home and be very comfortable that the Nigerian Labour Congress and all the affiliate unions are solidly behind us. I think this is the time for all Nigerians to speak with one voice. Yes. Corruption has continued to slow down the pace of the corruption of our country. We cannot afford to do that.
Next port of call was the National Assembly and the SGF's office, where some of the participants could be seen climbing over the gate at the main entrance. Inside the complex, letters were presented to representatives of the Speaker and Senate President.
Just like the executive arm of government has come up with an articulated policy against corruption, for instance, it has set up a committee under Comrade Professor Isse Sage to recommend ways of fast-tracking the anti-corruption fight. House of Representatives has not only noted this patriotic initiative, but we are also coming up with a coordinated approach to reinforce what the executive arm of government is doing and to answer to the clarion call and demand of Nigerian workers and Nigerian people generally.
The peaceful solidarity march may have been concluded, but many Nigerians are of the view that enough words have been spoken already, and the time for action is now. Basiaye, CoreTV News, Abuja.
In Taraba State, Labour activists also joined their counterparts across the country to declare war against corruption. The State Council of the Nigeria Labour Congress made its intention known by staging a rally in support of President Muhammadu Buhari's anti-corruption campaign. The details in this report.
Receiving the Labour workers at the Government House, the Deputy Governor Haruna Manu said the administration is also in support of the fight against corruption. He assured the activists of the state government's readiness to re-synergize with them to curb corruption.
We want to assure you that we stand by Mr. President, we'll continue to support him. And just because of that, when we came in, one of the first things this administration did was to set up a committee to re-verify the civil servants so that we can flush out those that ought to have retired or those that retired but still their names are in the payroll. It is one of the process.
NLC Chairman Peter Gambo said Labour will continue to support the current leadership in its fight against corruption. He is convinced that non-payment of workers' salaries is a fallout of corrupt practices by some state governors, unfair treatment of Nigerian workers and an unrealistic minimum wage. This, the NLC chairman said, has led many workers to live in penury and suffer untold hardships.
If you are a civil servant, you must fight corruption in your life. If you are a governor, you are the one heading the whole team in Taraba State. And anywhere you find yourself, be objective and fight corruption. We all elected our leaders with a high level of trust. We elected our leaders with loaded hope that they will bring development to us. That has been a thing in the campaign movement. Yes. We believe they will live to their campaign promises.
He added that corruption in Nigeria takes many forms, ranging from embezzlement and bribery to rigging of election, among others. Some of the workers said corruption had affected all the sectors and should be treated with utmost urgency.
We call on the government to maintain its anti-corruption stand and its stand for good governance, to give us good leadership, to develop our country for us. That's our call to both the state and federal governments.
Corruption, we know, is what is killing Nigeria. So we are in support of the fight against corruption. That is why we are all out here to support the federal government.
If we do not keep corruption, my sister, corruption will kill Nigeria. That is the plain truth about it.
According to the workers, The belief is for Nigerians to stand in unison and fight this evil called corruption. Edward Godwin, CoreTV News, Jalingo.
In Kaduna State, Labour activists converged on the government house to drum up support for President Muhammadu Buhari. It also afforded Governor Nasir El-Rufai to clear the air on rumors of his death after a 10-day-long absence from the public. Amina Nebi has details in this report.
These are members of the workforce in Kaduna State who have decided to stage a solidarity rally in support of President Buhari's war against corruption. Governor El-Rufai made his first public appearance in 10 days at the rally and promised to pay civil servants their salary before the Eid al-Fitr celebration. He plans to use the money discovered during the verification process.
We are public servants. We are elected to serve you, the people. So I have absolutely no problem being your messenger to take this to President Muhammadu Buhari, who is the #1 public servant of Nigeria. He is also working for all of us. I want to assure you that I will also follow up on these suggestions to prod and remind the President to implement your suggestions. Here in Kaduna, I want to express on behalf of the government our appreciation for your continuous support. I have read some of the placards you brought, and I'm very, very grateful for your support.
Labour leaders in the state expressed happiness and belief in the new government.
We came out for this protest in order to support the quest for the anti-corruption crusade started by His Excellency, the President of the country. And we are here to give the letter, and we have given the governor the letter for onward transmission to the President, and we are sure it will get to him.
His trade union Congress counterpart explained the rationale for the rally.
It is very necessary to note that without the support of the Nigerian workers, the aim and objective of eliminating corruption in Nigeria will never be achieved. That is why the working class in Nigeria, and in Kaduna in particular, decided to give this support to the present administration to wipe corruption tendencies in the running of government at both local, state and the federal government.
The rally was largely peaceful as security operatives were on hand to provide protection for the labor activists and their civil society partners.
We'll take a break now, and I'll be back with more stories. Don't go away.
Some pundits believe that as long as the political system is driven by selected few, corruption may be difficult to fight.
You should be careful about what you say.
I am not the only politician. Even if I've wronged anyone, it's time to forgive me.
Please for Arena every Sunday at 9:15 p.m. and a repeat broadcast every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m.
Welcome back. You can get all of our stories on any of our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/CoreTV News. Our Twitter handles at CoreTV News NG, and we're streaming live on YouTube. It's youtube.com/CoreTV, Live Space and News. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode has urged various members of labor unions in the state to support the anti-corruption crusade of President Muhammadu Buhari. The governor, who was represented by Secretary to the State Government Tuji Bello, received activists who were in a peaceful rally at the Lagos House Alausa. He commended the labor unions consisting members of the Trade Union Congress, National Labour Congress, National Youth Council, and the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights for the decision to show solidarity with President Buhari's quest to stem corruption. The state chairman of TUC, Comrade Hakim Kazim, disclosed that the nationwide rally was taken up to throw their full weight behind President Buhari's anti-corruption campaign. The people of Kogi West Senatorial District have handed down a 30-day ultimatum to the state government to address lopsided appointment in the Kogi State University or be prepared for a civil disobedience. They specifically concerned that nobody from the district is among 4 academics being considered for the position of the Vice Chancellor in spite of having the highest number of professors in the state. Senator Dino Melaye made the position of the senatorial district known at a news conference in Abuja.
We give the Kogi State government 30 days from today to invite us and correct these anomalies. I repeat again, we give the Kogi State government 30 days from today to invite us and ameliorate and correct these anomalies. You know Dino Melaye does not give empty threats. Or we will carry out massive civil disobedience and do all within the law to liberate our people. A stitch in time saves 9. The battle to fight for our rights, even with the last drop of our blood, is a battle of no retreat, no surrender.
A federal high court sitting in Lagos has remanded Taofeek Aderogba and Biodun Lesami in prison custody to the 25th of September 2015 for allegedly obstructing Federal Task Force on Fake Drugs and Unwholesome Processed Food at Alaba Market in Mile 12 area of the state. The accused persons were arraigned on 2-count charge of obstructing officers of NAFDAC and control in the course of their duties. The court, presided over by Justice Muhammad Yunusa, ordered the accused Taofeek Aderogba and Biodun Lesami to be remanded in prison custody till September 15th and 22nd of September for trial.
When we were about applying for the charge to be read to him for the purpose of taking his plea, he now informed the court he doesn't understand the language of the court, which is English. So, and the plea of the accused was not taken because of lack of an interpreter. So the court has ordered that an interpreter should be secured to interpret the charges to the accused. We have taken 22nd day of September 2015 for the formal arraignment of Taofeek. In the case of Biodun, he understands the language of the court, and the charge was read to him, which he pleaded guilty. And we have taken 16th of September 2015 for the bail application.
Well, what really happened was that the accused person said he doesn't understand the language of the court, which is the English language. And according to the Constitution, the charge has to be understood by the accused person. And since he cannot speak the language of, or he doesn't understand the language of the court has to get an interpreter for him, and which is not readily available in court now. And the court has no other option than to adjourn the matter so that the court registrar can arrange for an interpreter by the next adjourned date, so we can have the proper arraignment in court.
The Consumer Protection Council, CPC, has deferred the resumption of its investigation into the activities of the digital satellite television, the DSTV, earlier scheduled for Thursday, September 10. The decision to adjourn the sitting was based on the request by MultiChoice Nigeria Limited to have legal representation at the sitting. The council said in a statement that an 8-man team led by the pay TV outfit's managing director, John Ube, had on Thursday arrived at the CPC headquarters in Abuja, where they resumed hearing was scheduled and demanded to appear as a group before the panel. The leader of the investigating panel, who is also the council's director of legal services, Emmanuel Ataguba, declined the move and insisted that the officers appear one after the other. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry says there will be a further crash in crude oil price, currently trending at a 6-year low of $40 per barrel. Addressing journalists at the press conference in Lagos, RCCI's President Remi Bello warned that the crash of oil prices may further heighten the fiscal challenges being experienced in the country. He disclosed that Nigeria's real gross domestic product fell to 2.35% in the second quarter of 2015 compared to 6.54% in the same period last year. The SSI boss, however, advised that the Central Bank of Nigeria foreign exchange policy should be reviewed urgently to encourage the inflow of autonomous funds into the foreign exchange market. We'll take a break now, and I'll be back with stories outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
Is it crazy or autocracy? Or what type of crazy is that? Except crazy.
News making the headlines.
Black Maria is to carry criminals, trading looters that are in government today.
Sometimes it gets confrontational.
Slap you in the face. Excuse me, don't put words into my mouth. Whatever it is that will bring our military to disrepute, I said to hell.
On Core Digest,
I want to know why I should be believing them.
Every weekday, we bring all of these together and take them to the court of public opinion.
Everybody has the right in Nigeria.
Where you are the judge. Activities is on hold once again today across America as the U.S. marks the 13th anniversary of the September 11, 2001 terror attacks that killed nearly 3,000 people. Families of the victims gather at the Memorial Plaza for what has become a tradition of tolling bells, observing moments of silence, and reading the names of those who died. The plaza is reserved for victims' relatives and invited guests for the morning ceremony, but will be open for the public to pay their respect in the afternoon. An estimated 20,000 people flocked to the site last year, the first year the public was able to visit on the anniversary. The Flight 93 National Memorial near Shanksville in western Pennsylvania is marking the completion of its visitor center, which opened to the public on Thursday. At the Pentagon, Secretary of Defense Ashkit Carter and all the officials will join in remembrances for victims' relatives and Pentagon employees. Footage has emerged of migrants being thrown bags of food at a Hungarian camp near the border with Serbia. An Austrian woman who shot the video said the migrants were being treated like animals and called for European states to open their borders. The emergency director of Human Rights Watch said the migrants were being held like cattle in pens. It comes as several Central European states, along with Germany and Luxembourg, are due to meet over the migrant crisis. In recent weeks, tens of thousands of migrants have been desperately trying to flee conflict in countries such as Syria and Libya. Many of them travel through Hungary to Germany, Austria, and Sweden, and EU nations are also talking about this. So that wraps it on the news of this hour. Thank you for watching. I am Nifemi Oguntoye.